Welcome back to the Rugby Connection podcast, the only place to get all the ins and outs in the rugby world. Well, we have URC, we've got Prem, International Autumn Series is right around the corner. So we've got some squads to talk about, and joining me back-to-back weeks. We told you we wouldn't leave it as long. Andy's back. How are you getting on, mate?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Yeah, I was just on you. Shit. It's very early in the morning.
It is early in the morning. There's commitment here.
Lots
to talk about, though.
Yeah, lots to talk about. Do you want to start with the Prem, just to spice things up a little bit?
Yeah. Let's crack into it.
Prem didn't disappoint from a neutral point of view this weekend.
No.
Lots of fun. Friday night, double header on Friday night. Northampton Saints absolutely dismantling Sale Sharks.
Yeah.
47-17. This one hurt me, but for the league itself, it's good. Newcastle Falcons getting a win. First time in 19 months, beating my beloved Exeter Chiefs 24-18. Well done, Newcastle. Saturday didn't disappoint either. Bristol Bears, Saracens go neck and neck. Saracens sealing it at the death. 37 points to 35. Bath coming back from behind to beat Quins at the Stoop. 26-24. And Sunday didn't disappoint either. Another comeback. Leicester Tigers beating Gloucester 29-26. Oh, what a round.
Jeez, yeah. Plenty to keep you interested. Do you know what? It was terrible for my predictions, but it hasn't been boring. Yeah. The Premiership. No, one thing you can't accuse it of is boring.
So I actually need to apologise to you because we did predictions last week on the show. And everything I said to you, to your face, I went completely opposite on TikTok. So I don't know why. Usually I'm quite strong with my predictions. And when I came around to filming it for TikTok, I posted, I went, that's not what I said to Andy. So.
It is actually hard when you're doing multiple channels. Sometimes I catch myself and I'm like, I definitely said the opposite of this 3 days ago.
Yeah, I think I did that a few times. I think I agreed with you that Sale were going to win. And then on my prediction video, I said Saints were winning. So I'm like, so TikTok.
Well, I mean, that's a good choice.
There we go. So I've done all right there.
I don't think I've ever seen, because like Sale are a really good team.
Yeah.
And they just fell apart.
40-10.
Like,
Jesus.
Do you know, you could see like all of the, I thought actually like, it's interesting. The Sale players' body language, even when all of that was happening, I still thought it was good. Like they were all trying to G each other up. They were like, look, we're in this together. We're going to try and pull something good out of it. But stuff just kept going wrong, you know?
Yeah, that's a weird game. I mean, fair play to the Saints because they were on top form. George Furbank, I think people are sleeping on him for the Lions. People have got, like, it's either Keenan or Kinghorn. I'm like, Furbanks, they are doing wonders.
I think, he is. You're not wrong. I sort of wonder, I suppose it's the same for Kinghorn, because the other thing is, like, if they decide to go for a 6-2, there's only a couple of players in Europe can be that utility back sub, and, like... Kinghorn and Furbank are about two of the best possible options you could ever have out there to play that role. And, you know, like, I do think it's, lots of people have said it now, but like rugby it's increasingly being on the bench is not like a bit part role. Like being on the bench now means you're going to play probably the most crucial 30 minutes in the game. I wouldn't like to have to pick that team, man.
No, we're in Lions season and every week somebody puts their hand up. Even just as a bolter, and I'm sitting there like, could you be in it? Could we see a Silk International call up? Who knows? But like Saints were on song. They were champions for a reason. Furbank, like we've mentioned, Ollie Slightholme was great.
George Hendy. His
awesome
acceleration is ridiculous. Like I heard a lot of Saints fans last year saying, you know, people who don't watch Saints every week don't realize how good he is. I'm starting to see it, I think.
That's fair, yeah. James Ram coming off the bench. What a try. Just pace. Just raw pace. Just put your foot down and eyes shut, smile, and go for it.
Has there ever been... He came on for a blood change for Furbank. I think he was only on for about 7 minutes and assisted 2 tries and then went straight back off. Have you ever seen anyone have that good of a cameo? Yeah.
great. Thing is, people talk about that, and then you look at it. Yeah, he only played 7 minutes, so
Yeah, it's mad.
unreal. I think Sale just want to forget that.
Yeah, you just want to get back out and play again, don't you? Because it can't go as badly as that 2 weeks
No,
in a row.
surely not. We'll talk about the big one. Newcastle getting their win finally after
Mm,
26 attempts, first time in like 19 months in the
yes.
Premiership. And you know what? As much as it hurt me to see it, because I am a Chiefs fan, but they deserved it. It's not like it was a last ditch effort. They
Mm,
were in control of the game. Jamie Blamire was sensational.
yeah.
Callum
Callum
Chick
Chick.
always impresses me for Newcastle.
Yeah.
Thomas Gordon, what a signing he's been from Glasgow Warriors.
Yeah.
Pedro Rubiolo in the second row was awesome. Grayson at 10. What a drop goal.
Yeah. I mean, whatever they've been working on,
Mm.
obviously all came together. You know, I suppose it's always the way, like, you can end up getting, because the teams in the Premiership generally are so good, you can be
Mm.
5% off what your opposition are at, and you can lose by 20, 30 points, because the momentum just builds throughout the game. And maybe it gives us a false picture of how far off they actually were. Um, but either way, just made up that all of those players don't have to listen to people in the media and people like you and me talking about how they haven't won a game for 2 years. At least that's done now.
No, it's done, dusted, finished. And the bit that really hurts Newcastle now, they're still bottom of the league.
Yeah.
Exeter are a point ahead of them, which is insane.
Yeah. I mean, as a Chiefs fan, do you think you'll beat Quins next week?
I feel like we can catch them off guard as it's Sandy Park as well, so we're going to want to really put on some sort of display. But
Mm.
I honestly don't know what's going wrong right now because it's not like yes, it's still a fairly young team, but they've got more experience than what they did last year. I know you
Bit
said it's because
of.
there was no expectation last year,
Mm.
but even still, like nothing's adding up right now, and it's really strange.
No Slade. I do think that's pretty massive.
I didn't think it would be as massive. I know losing key players sucks, but I didn't. I'm like, we've still got some decent
Oh,
options.
it's not to say you don't have good options. It's just I think people really underestimate like how much he could do.
100%.
Like I
And
know,
Daft
yeah,
Jenkins as well.
yeah, he's a big miss as well. That's two big leaders as well. That's two guys who'll be
Mm.
barking orders and telling everybody what to do the whole time. Those are hard to replace.
Just come back, please. Hurry up.
Like I know someone who's sort of semi-affiliated with a few people involved in England rugby, so they hear stuff on the rumor mill. They tell me what's going on, and this guy always says like the respect for Slade's talent levels within England and within the camp, just like astronomical. Like
Fair
it's
enough.
funny. It's funny to me that some fans still seem like you see in comments all the time. People like, he's not up to much. I think he's absolute class, and it seems like that's the view. That's the view from inside as well.
Well, that's all that matters. And this is the thing, right? You get it every week. You get it on my videos. You get it on yours. You get somebody like, "Oh, why is he playing? He's
Mm.
obviously doing the right stuff in training."
Yeah. He's obviously very good.
Yeah, better than us. Spoiler: an international
Oh
player's better.
well, that's for sure.
But yeah, well done, Newcastle. Well deserved. It's what they all needed. They deserve it,
Yeah.
and hopefully you could march on from it. I do want to kind of just briefly talk about the Bristol Saracens game. One, it was just a fun game. Fitz Harding, hat trick hero from number 8.
Yes.
That's unreal. But the pantomime villain of the game, Alex Lazowski, possibly been carded for the hit on Gabriel Ogre. I heard how the referee explained it. It was a strange one. Like no arms, but they were both very dipped, and I'm like, okay. He explained it, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's fair. But then it's like, if that was a different referee, that's yeah,
On another day, yeah, that definitely could have been different. Um, I would say if I was a Bristol fan, you know, I mean that definitely has an impact. I would be saying like, how did we let them back into that game? Like
yeah,
the indiscipline that gave them the opportunities to score at the end is probably what they want to work on.
yeah. I agree with that. But yeah, so from potential card to coming up clutch, Alex Ozowski gets the winner from.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he was sensational off the kicking tee, 7 for 7, and he's definitely deserved that England call. But we'll dive into that. Queen's Bath was fun as well. It was good.
it was a good game.
Rodrigo Esgro is officially here, and
Up and running.
good
Yep.
good luck stopping him. Oh my god, man was everywhere. But Bath are in that hunt. They want to go one step more than they did last year.
You just felt like they always had it in them.
Mm,
Like when you've got such a strong bench,
absolutely.
you can be trailing going into the last 20 minutes. And I think, you know, Quins, it's not like they didn't have opportunities.
Mm.
They could have put the game to bed, but watching it, I just was thinking to myself the whole time. I was like, Bath, there's going to be another roll of the dice here for Bath. Like you can just feel it.
There always is. There always
Mm.
is. How is Tom de Glanville not being like, properly capped?
I
And
think
again,
it's
we spoke about it like last week that it's not down to him.
yeah,
It's
yeah. I think that's it. It's just who's ahead of him. Like there's just so many good players. He's great though, de Glanville.
he is. He's a lot of fun,
Yeah,
and
lovely
it's just
sidestep.
yeah underrated. Like that.
Yeah.
His try last week was sensational. His try this week was a bit more muscular, but still
Still, yeah.
very
There when it
different.
mattered.
And it's just a good team. They're you can see that they're eyeing up the trophy.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's an expensively assembled team. They've got a top coach.
Mm.
Like they need to be winning silverware. And it just feels like they got so close last year.
Mm.
And they know, I think, that if they'd had 15 men on the field for that whole final, like, I mean, they were so competitive with 14. You've got to think that they feel that with 15 they'd have won the game. And yeah, unfinished business is the vibe they're giving off this year.
And then on to the Sunday. What a game.
Yeah.
Gloucester are really, I know they got defeated, but Gloucester are really pushing to be in that mix this year and are ready to compete.
I'm not sure. I
Not the
think
top,
they'll
not top
no,
four, I think just like,
they'll take a couple of scalps, I think. But
okay.
playing the way they're playing, what happened to them on
Mm.
Sunday is also going to happen to them again. Right? Like they'll get themselves into winning positions. They'll score tries because when they get going, when the attack works, they look class.
Yeah.
But equally when it's like clutch time in games and they've got to defend, it looks like they haven't quite got that defensive system sorted out yet. You know, they give up too many meters.
That's fair. But it was just a good game. I did think all the Welsh boys from both sides
Yeah.
really put their hand up. Max Llewellyn, I am so happy that he's now called up. We'll get into it
Yeah.
a bit more in a little bit, but hat-trick hero, Nicky Smith for the Tigers.
Yeah.
Unreal performance. What season he's having. Thomas Williams, we spoke about him last week.
Yeah.
I'd say probably signing of the season when it comes to the Premiership.
He's going to be up there for sure.
He's just controlled that backline so well. And it's almost like they've just went, there's the keys, you do it. And he's like,
yeah,
cool,
I love
let's have fun with it.
whenever TNT is covering a Gloucester game and they've got Warburton on, and obviously he played with Thomas Williams a lot, and you know he rates him so highly. Everything he does, Warburton's like, yes.
My friends so good at rugby, yeah. Look at them. But Freddie Thomas as well. great try for a second role.
Yeah, yeah. And good news for him yesterday. Into the
Yeah,
squad.
yeah, nice little surprise. There's a few good surprises, but before we proper dive into it,
Yeah,
we
we'll
have
talk
got one more
about
round.
that.
I've got one more round of the Prem before the international break. So let's predict it. We have one game on the Friday night. We've got two on Saturday and two on the Sunday, I believe. Oh no, one Friday, three Saturday, one
Yeah.
Sunday. Sorry. Friday night, Bristol Bears versus Northampton Saints. Oh,
It's an interesting one. The internationals are gone, right? So I am going to say,
I imagine they'll be in camp. Yeah,
yeah, I'm going to say Bears.
fair. Bears haven't really been touched, have they?
No. And like some of their best players, like people like Ogre and Ibatoya, who would have been like right on the edge of being selected. Like those are almost international class. Well, almost. The only thing that stops them being called international class is the fact that they're not in a squad. Do you know what I mean? So
100%.
yeah, so I think Bristol.
This is the week you kind of have to think of who's not there, who's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go Bristol on that one with you as well. I will promise. I don't. I won't. I won't TikTok. I will go Bristol. Saturday we've got Gloucester versus Newcastle.
Mm.
I mean, yes, Gloucester have a lot of internationals going away. That's for Wales, so they're allowed to play
Oh, is that right?
because it's a Prem team. Prem gets.
Ah. Oh, that's an interesting one. I mean,
So
if they've got all of the Welsh boys, you'd have to say Gloucester.
it's like Kingscombe as well. I can't see
Yeah.
Newcastle getting a win on the road just yet.
But if Gloucester lost the Welsh contingent,
Mm.
I would say Newcastle would have half a shot, you know,
Wales
just with the
aren't,
confidence.
Wales aren't playing till like the 11th, I believe.
They've only got three, haven't they?
Yeah,
Like
they've only got
three games, I mean, in November.
games. Yeah, so I imagine because of the strange rules that they do have all their players available. So I think Gloucester could.
No, I'm with you there. I'll say
Yeah,
Gloucester. Yeah. Although it's one of those, the way they play just lets other teams into games, you
it
know?
does. And Newcastle will be full of it, like ready for it now.
Yeah. It would be so funny if after 25 games, if they won two in a row
Two in a
on
row.
the spin back, it'd be
Yes.
amazing. But you know what? My heart says Newcastle, but my head does say Gloucester if they've got all the internationals.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same boat with you. Ba- Bath versus Sale. I tried to say Bristol and Bath at the same time there. So Bath versus Sale. Well, it's going to be a physical game, I imagine. And Sale's
Yeah.
going to be really annoyed from last weekend's performance.
Yeah. It's at the Rec, though, isn't it?
As yes.
I'd still fancy Bath.
Yeah, Bath. Have Bath really had any internationals away? Not really.
Well, they'll lose. Yeah, I mean they're going to lose some players, but they've got lots of good players who aren't capped, right? Like, I mean, they're going to keep Guy Pepper and Ted Hill.
It's great back row options.
Yeah, they're going to keep Abano somehow.
They
Not
will
capped.
keep. They will keep Finn Russell this week because again, yeah, it's surreal.
Oh, I didn't realize. I thought he wouldn't be playing.
So Scotland, Fiji, which spoil for next week. It's essentially Edinburgh and Glasgow.
Ah, okay.
But it's out with the international window. So Finn Russell, Blair Kinghorn, Josh Bayliss, etc.
They won't be playing.
They won't be playing.
Okay. Oh, geez. Well,
So
in that case, you know, Sale losing, the Curry brothers, Roebuck. Yeah, I think I definitely fancy Bath then.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll agree with you again. Again, it's trying to think who's going to be available for selection, who's not.
Yeah.
Because Scotland and England are playing on the 2nd of November, which is out with international, which doesn't affect England as much because obviously a lot of their players are Prem based anyway.
Yeah.
Well, all of them are. Whereas Scotland, if you're not playing for Edinburgh or Glasgow, you can't play that game
Ah,
because the clubs have the say.
makes sense.
Yeah,
Well, I've got to brush up. I've got to brush up on all of
there you go.
that.
Every day is a school day.
Every day is a school day.
This one's interesting again because of the theme of going into that week: Saracens versus Leicester.
Mm,
Saracens have a lot of players going on international duty,
yeah, that's true.
and Tigers again. They've got some, but it's
Mm. When do all the Southern Hemisphere players go into camp? I mean, that must be this weekend as well, right? Because a lot of them are playing that first weekend.
yeah. I imagine it would be. Yeah, I imagine it would be that week,
Yeah.
or going into the start of next week.
Tell you what, this one could be a chance for Leicester to get an unexpected away win.
It's tough because I'm just trying to think who's Tigers losing. I know Saracens have got like 7 players going to England.
Well, Tigers would lose Chesham, Stewart,
George Martin as well.
yeah, Martin,
Dan Cole.
yeah. I mean,
Jeez. Okay.
and then depending on the internationals, could lose Pollard, could lose Montoya, depending on when they go into camp. So, yeah.
Don't think they go into camp until the fall, so like the Monday, so a week to yesterday. Sorry, because we're
Okay.
recording.
Well, in that case,
I don't know.
well, if that's true, you'd maybe give Tigers the edge if they have more access to their players. Because, like you say, that the core of that Saracens team is going to be gone. But yeah, that one's tough. I'll say Saris just because they're at home, but I do think Tigers could pull something off in that.
You know what? Just to make it different, I'll say Tigers. Because every time I've backed Saracens, they lose anyway, so I might as well. Final game on the Sunday: Exeter Chiefs versus Quins at Sandy Park.
Yeah,
we need a win. I really need a win at this point. I'm losing my mind. And
yeah.
we have like 1 international away. It is a big one. It is Feo Boso, but
Boso, yeah.
you've still got like Brown Bampo. You've still got Ben Hammersley. Whereas I believe
Quins. Well, Quins will be missing a couple, right? Smith, Don Brandt,
Cunningham South.
Yeah, those are big misses for Quins, I think.
Let's take it. Let's get them all done.
Although no Cunningham South, they can still just pick Kenningham and Evans.
Oh, you're no fun. Who does that to someone?
I don't know.
I really need a win, so I'm going for the Chiefs.
Well, I'll be different then. I'll say Quins are going to steal it on the road.
And we're not friends anymore. No, that's all good. URC.
Yeah.
Some nail biters in the URC this week. We had Friday night, we had Scarlets edging out the Bulls 23-22.
I chose to watch Saints and Sale. I wish I'd watched this game. It looked brilliant.
Did you watch the Saints and Sale's game as well instead?
Yeah.
Same. Silly me. Ulster getting a big win at home over Ospreys 36-12. The Lions on the Saturday beating Zebre just by the skin of their teeth, 10 points to 9. Glasgow Warriors walking away with 2 losing bonus points in Durban against the Sharks, 28-24 to the Sharks. Stormers finally getting their first win over Munster, 34 points to 19. My beloved Edinburgh's 2 on the bounce now, their bonus point win, 27-8 over Cardiff. Benetton beating Dragons in a very contested game. It was quite high scoring, 31-21 to Benetton. And Leinster remain undefeated, maximum points over Irish rivals Connacht, 33-12.
Mm.
We need to start with the Scarlets, don't we?
That was the standout result, I think.
Tom was try. That was not.
Yeah. If I was him, I'd be watching that clip over and over and over again. Sitting down two Springboks is it's not bad.
I would be sitting. That would be something you show the grandkids. Like, look,
Yeah, for sure.
this is what Granddad did in his prime. Yeah, what a game, what an achievement. People are obviously, the red card ruined the game. Shut up, shut up.
Well, if I was a Bulls fan, 2 weeks in a
I-
row, they've had red cards which have been rescinded after the fact. You know, it's not great.
Tackle more then.
That
I
is
know
that's part of it. That definitely is part of it.
I know that's easier said than done, but
you know, if you're getting caught out at the margins and then the league's coming out and being like, oh yeah, maybe not. I mean, to be fair with that one, if it had been yellow, it wouldn't have mattered, right? Because it was in the last 10 minutes, I think, anyway. But yeah, it's a difficult one. I don't want to wade into the high tackles. It feels like
oh no.
it's just so toxic at the moment.
Oh yeah, the minute any one of us on social media says like, "Oh, I feel it was a red," or "I don't feel it was a red," bang! Comments are just straight in on you.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's tricky. If my team had players sent off 2 weeks in a row and then they'd rescinded both of them, I would be saying, "What's going on?" That's like, you know,
that's understandable.
Yeah.
But no, Scarlett's getting a win. It's fun, and it does. I know it's not because it's not played on paper, but it does look the whole Bulls can't play well away from home.
I think all the South African teams struggle, right? Just because of the travel, like in the same way that the European teams struggle when we go over there.
Absolutely.
It's so hard to travel that far and then put in 2 or 3 really good performances in a row. I mean, they rotated a bit, didn't they, the Bulls? I think that lack of continuity probably played into it as well. Also, though, like just the Scarlets played really well.
They did, exactly.
You know, sometimes the answer isn't what did the away team do wrong. It's that the Scarlets played a really good game, scored some great tries.
Praise the winners sometimes.
Exactly.
I've noticed that in like modern times that people just can't praise the team that won. They always have to look at, oh, but this happened. But did they win?
Social media, I suppose. I think we get a skewed view of it because the people who show up in comments and stuff are the most motivated people to talk about it. I think most people wouldn't mind giving it up, especially when you see like that winning try was just class.
It's great. Step 1, step 2, dive, try. Great.
Yep.
Tornado conversion. I'm going to move over to South Africa because it was a great game. Sharks versus Glasgow.
Yeah.
Glasgow did really well. They didn't go full whack. They went probably stronger than I anticipated. We did discuss it last week. Because, well, as of right now, as of recording, the Scotland team has not been announced. So,
is it getting announced today?
God, I hope so. I need content. I've not got much content.
So Ireland's tomorrow, I think.
Ireland's tomorrow. Okay, that's interesting. So they went 80% full strength against essentially a Springbok team.
Yeah, we've stacked that Sharks team.
And to walk away with 2 goals and bonus points, 14 points in 3 minutes.
They've a habit of doing that, don't they?
Yeah, it's just champion like winner mentality. Like we will come away from this game
2 points in South Africa, like half as good as a narrow win.
Absolutely,
you'll take that. Like 100%. It's really not a bad return at all.
It was good. Sharks. This is a Sharks team that people want to see.
Yeah.
And see Khaleesi back, scoring on his return, even Etsebeth just being an absolute nuisance as pair.
Yeah.
Absolutely Fassi's really, really showing his worth now.
Yeah, he's pretty good, isn't he?
Just a little bit. The Hendrickson brothers finally getting to pair up again, which was great.
How have they got Hendrickson and Williams?
It's cheap.
How are those your options at 9? It's amazing.
Money. Just that sweet, sweet rand. But no, the Sharks did well. They got the win. Glasgow, it's not all doom and gloom, like we said. think the yellow card might have stinted Glasgow's momentum, but again, you play with what's in front of you. That's not the Sharks' fault.
It's difficult as well. Like, you're always going to give one up because you're going to be under so much pressure in games like that. Like, you're going to give away penalties. It feels like to keep 15 men on the field for the whole game in an away game in South Africa is just difficult.
Do you want to talk about Stormers?
Yeah, we can do.
It's a good game. Stormers finally getting voodoo.
Yeah. It's one of those where, like, you can see it from both perspectives. Like, the Stormers were a lot better than they have been the last few weeks. And, you know, Damien Willemse looked very good at 10. Mm-hmm. They scored a couple of great tries. But at the same time, Munster will feel like, well, we gave them 14 points. We had chances. You know, we couldn't stick a line out. We got mullered in the scrum. Munster will feel with a couple of little things going right for them, they maybe could have got something. Did you see Roundtree's post-match interview?
I've seen it, but I didn't actually have time to listen to it or that.
He was great. Like, he was chewing wasps. You could tell he was furious, but he was really defiant. He was like, "We're not going to fall apart." You could tell he sort of internally, he didn't say it, but internally he's like, "Okay, God, the wheels are in danger of coming off here. Like, we're not going as well as we should be."
Oh, but, dear.
Yeah, the way he came out and backed his team and, like, set his stall out, was like, you know what? It ends here. We're going to start turning it around. I thought it was great. And also, it was just like, he wasn't that guarded. You know, it felt like he was being quite honest, which I think is something they should encourage coaches to do. You know?
There's a sad thing we should talk about just because we mentioned Stormers. It does look like Stephen Kitshoff could be finished.
Really?
Have you not heard about this?
No. I saw a headline, but, you know, you always see headlines like that when players are injured.
So John Dobson, Stormers head coach, put out this really weird, cryptic, like, message in a press conference before the game that there's an experienced Springbok, that the injury's that severe, he'll be lucky if he can drive again, let alone play rugby.
Oh my God.
So everyone kind of went, well, who's that? And it's a key bit, experienced Springbok. There isn't many experienced Springboks in the Stormers. I was like, well, Stephen Kitshoff.
It's a neck injury.
Yes, and
Ooh. I will say, you see, like, this does happen to front rows.
Yeah.
Sometimes people recover, you know?
Oh, yeah, there's always a possibility of returning.
You do get stories like this. I hope he's all right.
I don't care what team you support, what country you support.
No. And
you don't pray for somebody's downfall like that.
And if rugby, you know, if rugby is over for him, I hope it's not like, I hope he's able to go out and live his life and have fun.
It was just that statement, like, he might not be able to drive again, let alone for rugby. Jesus.
Yeah. Jeez, he must be in trouble.
Must be. But hopefully
get well, Stephen.
Just briefly on the Leinster game, because again they're just absolutely carving up. R.A. Snyman.
Yeah.
Look away, Munster fans, because he's absolutely tearing it up right now in the blue.
Yeah. He definitely seems to have given Leinster a little bit extra, doesn't he?
Yeah. It's a bit of a cheat code right now. And Osborne's try from the sky. Oh.
Yeah.
Great effort. And it's just what Leinster do.
The defence looks just more organised this season. It looks like they've got a better handle on it. And, like, long periods of that game, Connacht just couldn't get out of their own half. Because I thought they fronted up quite well, Connacht. Like, I thought game, I didn't realise Leinster were going to go so strong in their selection. And I thought that game might have been a bit closer. But then you see the team sheet and you're like, oh my God, like, this is internationals everywhere.
Bolton for Connacht, what a player.
Connacht have a few guys in that team where you're like, seriously talented players. Like Cal Ford, looks brilliant this season. Yeah. I think Connacht look like they're building something to me. I showed my missus the Snyman try, and she wasn't that impressed. And I was like, look at his hand on the ball and the way he's holding it. And then I grabbed this one. I was like, look at my hand. Look at the difference. The guy is an absolute giant.
You're like look at that. Look at this specimen. Right hand.
Yeah, the hand-to-hand comparison did it though. I can barely like I don't know if I could spin around and all that with the ball in one hand and be sure that I was going to hold on to it. But
try it right now, just for fun. Try it right now.
No. I'm not. No clip with that in it. But yeah, funny stuff.
But yeah, no, Leinster
they look good.
Really comfortable this season. Maximum points, 5 for 5.
Frawley injury didn't look brilliant. I've heard that they're playing it down in the press. They're saying it's not that bad, but yeah, I saw Gordon Darcy on Twitter complaining about artificial pitches.
There's always Sunday, isn't there?
Well, I think there's like.
Where do you? I know it's a weird one, but where do you stand on the whole?
I understand, like, it's hard to maintain a pitch in Connacht,
Yeah. Yes.
I get that, but I mean, I wonder actually. There must be research. Like, I would assume that teams wouldn't go and put those things in if there was good numbers that suggest. Although, like, I know when I was getting my injury sorted, I had this like long ongoing hip injury, and I went to see a specialist. He used to work at West Ham in the Premiership, and he told me West Ham spent all of this money on like this indoor, when they have it, like, it looks like it's inside a big tent, those big white tents.
Yeah.
They had an indoor artificial pitch. They spent loads of money on it over the summer, and then they said the players came and ran around on it for 10 minutes, and then the squad just refused. They were like, we're not training here because the surface is too hard underneath. And that was the point Gordon Darcy was making, is he's like, top football clubs don't train their players on surfaces like this anymore because the risk of injury is so high. But again, sorry?
I'm saying you need to try and like find that balance, because I understand why they have artificial pitches. So you can still play on it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you see some of the burns.
Yeah, I mean, the burns look crazy.
And obviously, if you're getting tackled by a unit onto like solid flooring, that's not great either.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a different topic for a different day. We have predictions because, again, we've got one more week of the URC before internationals. Some have like a 2-week gap. Some, like Scotland and England, have 1 week. So interesting. Friday night, we have Benetton hosting the Bulls. That's going to be a fun game. But I think Benetton, I think Bulls just want to go home now.
I think Benetton as well.
They're
good at home.
Yeah. Well, like Benetton on this show.
And yeah, for the Bulls, it's the third game on tour, isn't it? Like, they must be exhausted.
They just want to go home. Scarlets versus Zebra.
I think you'd have to back the Scarlets there.
All the confidence in the world. They're still at home.
Yeah. Zebra struggle on the road as well.
Zebra struggle everywhere.
Well, at least they won a good game at home. They beat Munster.
But that was it. Okay, maybe, I don't know. Stormers versus Glasgow Warriors opening on the Saturday down in Cape Town.
Ooh, I think Glasgow might take it,
I feel like they could, because Stormers aren't as strong as the Sharks.
No, I don't think so.
Without sounding harsh. And Glasgow showed like no fear to the Sharks. So I'm like, yeah, go on, take the Stormers. And you're not, I know it's not an excuse, but you're not at altitude either. At sea level, isn't Cape Town.
Yeah, the Stormers, it's so funny. People were explaining to me, I thought the Sharks was at altitude. People were explaining to me in the comments, it's not, it's at sea level. Oh. Someone went, yeah, hence the name. And I was like, oh, I can't believe I've never put 2 and 2 together like that.
Although, I don't see what the names have to do with anything, because bulls aren't exactly mountain animals, are they?
Well, maybe not, but sharks are definitely sea level animals.
Sharks are definitely not in the mountains. If there's sharks in the mountains, I want to know how they've got there. Well, fun one Saturday afternoon. Ospreys versus Edinburgh down at Bridgend. It's not Swansea. I did look it up.
Hmm.
Is it the Brewer? Is it the Brewers Field or whatever it's called?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Is that the one with the stand on the truck?
I think it is. Yeah, like the
Yeah, I think
old
it is. Yeah,
proper
yeah.
old school ground. Yeah,
Yeah.
back
Ooh.
your team. Edinburgh. I'm backing my team. Edinburgh's going to go for 3 and start really building that momentum. But again, I don't know who we can select and can't select because we've got a Scotland game next week.
Yeah, God.
I imagine it's going to be somewhat rotated. So it'll be like Bowen Venter, Dave Cherry, Paul Hill would start. You then maybe have like Glenn Young back from injury with Marshall Sykes or Jamie Hodgson because Grant Gilchrist will probably be on Scotland duty. The
Yeah.
back row will be a bit fresher. Halfbacks, I can't see being an issue without sounding too harsh. I don't really see Ali Price, Ben Villacott. I don't really see Ross
Mm,
Thompson or Ben Healy. Well, definitely not Ben Healy now
yeah.
in that Scotland team. Centres could be interesting because I don't see Matt Scott going, but I could see Masesi Tuipuotu getting capped
Maybe.
just to cap him, which I
I
don't
mean,
like, but I feel like they would.
yeah.
Back three would be interesting because Duhan and Darcy would likely not be playing.
Mm,
So I imagine you would maybe move Hussein back to the wing, bring in Harry Patterson, who's just back from injury at fullback, Ross McCann on the other wing from the GB7s, something like that.
mm.
A very fresh team, shall we say.
It's a tricky one because,
Mm.
like, the Ospreys can be good at home.
They can, but I think it was you last week as well. Didn't Toby Booth just like, yeah, I'm away. I want to leave.
Yeah, yeah. It's at the end of the season, though. Well, I think he said he'll go at the end of the season, but if they find someone before then, he'll leave during the season.
Or if he gets a better offer, he's away. I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
well,
really
I think he might
sweet.
already. I think he might already have the better offer. I think that might be what's behind this.
There you go.
Ooh. You'll say Edinburgh, I'll say Ospreys. Go on.
Okay, that's fine. We're back in the Shark Tank. Sharks versus Munster.
If the Sharks go fully loaded again,
Hmm.
could be a tricky day for Munster.
I think it'd be their last time to go full whack before the
Yeah.
championship. So, I'll say Sharks.
Yeah, I think so too.
Then we've got the battle of the undefeated, and I can't believe I'm actually saying that. But Leinster versus Lions.
Could be an interesting one because if Leinster won't have the internationals, if you know the Lions aren't going to get hurt by international call-ups anyway.
True, yeah. Lions are a
Um,
weird. They have like a stacked roster, but then none of them get capped, or they leave for like Stormers or Sharks, then get capped. This is a
yeah.
very strange.
God, I don't know, man. Like that one feels a bit banana skin ish, but I know. I think you'd back Leinster just because it's the Lions' third game on tour. They've had
Yeah.
two really difficult, really close games,
Mhm.
and they'll be coming up against a Leinster team, which will be like, yes, maybe a bit inexperienced, but raring to go
Mm.
and fresh. So I think for that reason, yeah, I think you got to go Leinster.
Yeah, I'm going Leinster, absolutely. Cardiff versus Ulster. Ooh,
Ooh,
that's
that's
a
an
fun
interesting
one.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
think
going to.
Ulster will be targeting that. I think they'll be looking at that and thinking this is a definite. Um, we'll be disappointed if we look back and we didn't get this away win.
100%. I was going to say I do think that Ulster could get that win because Cardiff they've not been terrible, but they've been a bit shaky at times.
Yeah, they're good in moments. It just feels like they're pulling something together.
Yeah, it's not quite there yet.
Yeah, sometimes it takes time.
It does absolutely. And final game before the internationals, we've got Connacht versus the Dragons.
Are you back Connacht to win that at home?
I
Sure.
expect Connacht to get a win there. Yeah, absolutely, especially at home.
Yeah.
And yeah, it'll be fun. But just before we quickly round off this episode, we have got some international squads.
Yes.
out and ready to go. The Wallabies have named their touring squad, and it's very tasty. Joe
Yeah.
Schmidt has brought back some heavy hitters.
Yes, he has.
Yes, so I'm just going to rattle off some in the names from the forwards and then some in the backs and then discuss it. So, like, obviously, Fraser McWright, Rob Valentini is in the mix. Will Skelton is back.
Big Willie Skelts.
Big Willie Skelton.
Honestly.
Tanya Lotito, James Slipper, who's now like in the 140 club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the options they've got it forward in the pack is unreal. But the big headline is in the backs. The money man himself is in the Wallabies team and he's not even played 15s yet. Joseph Sua Ali,
Yeah.
£5 million man, 21 years old, fresh out of rugby league on the Northern Tour. You know what? Go for it.
Yeah.
Don't know where.
I'm excited to see it. I hope they throw him right in. I really do.
Oh yeah, where would you play him? Because some people are saying fullback, some are saying forward. I'm like, he's young enough to kind of just go there.
Yeah, I wonder what they will do with him. I feel like because Joe Schmidt being more conservative, I feel like he might try him on the wing.
Maybe, yeah, possibly.
I mean, because the thing is, like the one place, I guess, post rugby championship, there's no Corabetti, right? So
He's not, but
that's a hole in the squad they'll be looking to fill.
True, but Sammy Karevi's back as well.
Sammy Karevi is back.
And,
I'll be honest. Like, do you really think with everyone fit, you'd rather have Karevi in there than Ikitau and Paisami?
Probably not, but Karevi off the bench would be.
Yeah, Karevi off the bench is big, and he's really experienced, which really helps.
I'm actually really excited to see Tane Edmund get a goal.
Yeah,
he's been quite good. He got to go and play NPC over in New Zealand after the Super Rugby season. But yeah, he's quite interesting to watch, and obviously the rest, Nick White, Jake Gordon, Tate McDermott, Harry Potter. There you go. Former Tigers player. Now we're forced to get the call up. Good stuff.
Just looking at the names, with everyone, who's your back three? If you're trying to fit someone in, because Callaway had a good rugby championship.
No, we did. Tom Wright.
Tom Wright had a great rugby championship.
Really?
I feel like, it's going to be a tricky one. Interested to see what
I imagine it's either going to be Sua Ali or Jorgensen on the wing.
Yeah. Well, Jorgensen came off the bench a lot, didn't he?
Yeah, but I think that's just because Corabetti was there. So now you've got that.
Dylan Peich was good as well when he came on during the rugby championship. He had some really good impacts in games.
Is he not more of a centre though? Like, it doesn't make much of a difference. But...
He might be. I think they brought him on the wing. Maybe I'm misremembering.
Oh well, there's a good team though. The Joe Schmidt, but he's now calling up some
exciting squad.
So yeah, the Wales squad, Gaston and his team, very excited. I'm quite happy with that. Captain Dewey Lake, that is the right choice. He wears his heart on his sleeve. Jack Morgan is back in the team, which I love. Jack Morgan's a sensational player. Nicky Smith is back and ready to go. Max Llewellyn, we've talked about him earlier. I wasn't sure he was going to get picked because of the weird rule that Wales have.
It's good to see him in there.
If you get picked, if you're in a Premiership team, you can get capped if you've not played in Wales. Kind of like Lewis Rees-Zammit got picked, but he never played in Wales.
Yeah.
Max Llewellyn played for Cardiff and got capped last year. So but they've obviously managed to sort something out, which is awesome.
I don't think you can be too precious about it if you're Wales. Like, you've got these good players playing abroad. Like, just get them in the team, Just
get them in, 100%.
Yeah.
Thomas Williams, Gareth Anscombe, I imagine they two will start.
You would think so.
They're just clicking very well at Gloucester. Sticking with Gloucester, we spoke about him earlier as well. Freddie Thomas, the big second row, he's now in the Welsh team. Blair Murray from the Scarlets, he's so that's exciting. Another Kiwi for Wales. They love it.
Yeah, I think we might. I think we might see quite a lot of. Well, we might see at least some cameos from those two, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
surely.
England named their team, and it's a safe choice, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
He's not gone for anything shocking, I'd say, unless
Yeah.
you read the comments where people are just out for Charlie Ewels, which
Yeah, why is that?
harsh. He gets it so tight all the time.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't be making any surprise selections if I was England either. Like, they've
No,
got a nice settled squad. I think they know what they're doing. They've had some upheaval among the coaches, so I think you try and promote consistency in the team as much as you can.
the big one I'm excited for, and I'm actually genuinely excited about it, is do you go Alex Lozowski or do you go Henry Slade? Because Henry Slade hasn't played this season, and
If
Alex
he's
is
if he's
Lozowski's
fit,
really
they'll
good
pick
as well.
Slade. If he's fit, they'll pick Slade for sure.
Oh, I feel like Lozowski might deserve it though, and that's coming from a chief.
He might deserve it, but I reckon if you're an international coach and you've got one guy who's been out of the international fold for a long time and another guy who, yeah, he might not be fit, but he's the sort of player who can come in and do his job. Like, I don't think Henry Slade needs a run of games to get up to. I mean, I suppose it depends. You never get to see how people are looking in training and stuff, but I'd be surprised if they risk Lozowski in that first game. Because if you have Slade, you could put Daly on the bench and then you've got great cover there. Yeah, that'd be my prediction, but I get a lot of them wrong. So
fair, everyone gets predictions wrong. I don't know if you've seen it just before we sign off. TNT Sports did their like England team, and it was I liked it.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was like I'm sure they started Genge, but I would start Baxter. Right now, I'd start Finn Baxter.
Let's have a look.
I think I'll have mine would be like Finn Baxter, Jimmy George. I'd maybe start Trevor Davison. He's been really good for Saints.
Yeah.
Itoje, Martin, Cunningham South, Underhill, Benarl.
Yeah, that'd be my back row.
Yeah, 9's interesting because obviously there is no Alex Mitchell, so does Ben
It'll be Spencer. Yeah.
And with him, Harry Randall on the bench.
Think so.
Yeah.
Marcus well, this is the other thing is like if they go more conservative, they'll go Van Poortvliet on the bench.
All right, okay.
I do feel like Randall's style almost works against him for England, you know? Like
it's too flashy.
It's too flashy, it's too attacking, you know? And he's a difficult player to put on the bench because what if you're leading? Is he the guy that you want to bring on if you're for chasing a game? Absolutely 100% the guy you want to bring on. But if you're leading and you want to see the game out, wouldn't you go with Van Poortvliet?
Oh no, I like a flashy.
I love Harry Randall. I'm trying to put myself in Steve Borthwick's shoes. It's no shade to Harry Randall.
I was going to say you're asking the wrong person there. I wouldn't go very conservative, but I like flashy players. I like snappy decisions. I like high tempo action. So it would probably be Harry Randall. But I imagine Marcus Smith gets another 10.
Yep.
Lloyd Orrington the 12 with if fit Henry Slade. If not, probably Alex Lozowski. You then have Fabo Boso and probably Tommy Freeman on the wings.
Yep.
Or Ollie Slayholm. Either way, it works. And then
I think they'll start Freeman for the kick chase.
And then Furbank at fullback.
Yep.
Go. And like you said, Ireland's get announced tomorrow.
Yes.
Scotland has to be any time that we have teased nothing. Nothing. And I'm losing it because I'm trying to predict who's getting called up. We've had injuries. Andy Christie and Kyle Steyn seem to be Andy Christie is definitely out.
Yeah.
And Kyle Steyn seems likely to be out as well, so that's going to be interesting. And I want to see the new faces. We might get Tom Jordan, we might get Fergus Burke. You might get another Tuipulotu in Masesi.
Do you really think Fergus Burke came to Saracens to play for Scotland?
Oh, that was such a backhanded thing. That.
No, I'm asking you because I see a lot of people. I see a lot of people talking about it.
I think he's got more chance to get more games for Scotland than he does for England, personally.
Yeah, that might be true.
And I think that may be a big selling point because right now,
Has he though? Really? Because Scotland never drop Finn. Russell only doesn't play when he's not fit or when you're playing like a tier 2 team.
Exactly. You could play against Portugal. There you go.
Oh well.
Have fun with it.
There's less. I know what you mean. There's less players to get through, but I don't know if potentially
there's less to get through, but there's one constant to find. So it doesn't matter really who gets picked because you're not getting picked over Finn.
Yeah, that's kind of how
I mean that in the nicest way possible. It's the same with like well, you're Irish, Ireland.
Yeah, it was the same with Sexton. Yeah,
everyone starts behind. There's always who's behind Sexton.
It's
it's not who's battling out for 10. No one's battling out for 10. It's who's sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
Who's going to take pictures of Finn Russell and fishing with him in the week? That's it. I don't know. I'm very excited though. There's a lot of fresh players coming through. There's a lot of youngsters putting their hand up. Patrick Harrison, Ben Muncaster are my picks for the younger lads to get a call. But hey, Gregor Townsend always throws something out there that everyone goes, oh, okay. I think 2 years ago it was Rory McConaughey from Bath, and then last year we had Alec Hepburn getting capped.
No, wait, didn't Rory McConaughey play for England?
He did. So did Alec Hepburn. But they've both been.
Was he born in Scotland?
I don't know, but just listen to his name.
Yeah, but I think it's like
he is capped by England.
Or do you have to have ancestry there, right? That's how it works. If you've already been capped.
If you're capped, you have to either be born from that country or mum and dad. That's as far back. You can't do the granny rule. If you've not been capped.
If you've not been capped, it's open season, right? But if you have, then it's okay.
Yeah, I'm excited. There's going to be a few surprises.
It's no wonder nobody follows this sport. So convoluted.
Yeah. Just the United League of Nations, essentially, at this point.
Yeah.
And our one's come out. I think we could all kind of. I think the big one would be who's at hooker, because there's been a lot of injury issues.
Yeah. I mean, I talked about that last week on TikTok. I've heard since that Herring might actually be fit. I haven't seen anything official, but
I gave Dave Heffernan a go. I was behind you on that.
But I mean, even if Herring is fit, Heffernan will probably be the reserve.
True.
So we'll see some new blood. I'm trying to think if there's anybody you reckon. Maybe you look at the guys who were in like the development roles in the Six Nations and in the summer. So like maybe Tom Ahern, especially if O'Mahony's out, that might open up a slot.
Maybe Murphy from Connacht. We spoke about him last week.
Potential bolter, yeah. But then it's like Caelan Blade went to South Africa, played in terms of minutes a small role, but played a big role in that second win in South Africa. And like, I think when you call someone up, when they come in a difficult position and they do a job for you, you have to reward them. You know, you can't just drop them then because there's a newer, shinier guy playing at club level.
Could be interesting. Could be lots to talk about anyway for next week as well.
Plenty.
Yeah, so next week we've got more international teams. We'll have the final round of Prem and URC before the international break, and probably just a little preview for the first two games of the autumn, because there's only two for the 2nd of November. It is Scotland, Fiji, and England All Blacks. How that's out with the international window, I don't know, but it doesn't affect either country.
So. England All Blacks. It's gonna be beautiful.
England All Blacks 3 for this year. There you go.
Yeah.
Ready for it. But Andy, thank you so much, as always.
Thank you. Yeah. I gotta go to work.
We've got to go and take the little one to school, so there we go. Real life problems.
Yeah. Still, forget about it. Talk about rugby for an hour. It's nice.
Very much. We're on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. We're on Spotify. Give Andy a follow at Rugby Noz over on TikTok.
Thank you.
Give myself a follow on TikTok as well at Plus for Rugby. And enjoy the rugby this weekend, and we'll see you next week.
See you next time.